Hey everybody, Jeremy here, aka Mr. EW, and what you see before you is a CPS2 B-board, obviously. But it's no normal B-board, it's actually a Super Street Fighter 2 Tournament Battle B-board. I finally was able to get 4 of these, and why that's significant is because you actually need 4 of these linked together in order for it to boot. And then basically you have a Super Street Fighter 2 tournament. 8 people can play at one time. But like I said, you have to have 4 PCBs that work linked together. And that's really rare to find nowadays. There's quite a few collectors that have 1 or 2 of these tournament battle PCBs, but there's only a handful of people in the world probably that still have 4 of them together. As you can see here in this B-board, you got the normal PCB that every B-board has, but you also have this board right here that attaches to this connector, which I know some people have probably wondered, hey, what connects to that? This is what connects to it. It's a linking PCB. And what it has is it's got 2 S-video ports. There's also an older version of this that had a lot more components on it, that had a 3rd S-video port. But I guess that was one of the earlier models, and this seems to be the more common one, probably the final revision of the Link PCB. But basically, the way it works, you have your 4 PCBs, and you'll take, I put this over kind of laying on top here so you can see. If you look there, you got an out port and you got an in port. So basically, if this was PCB number 1, I would take a cord from the out, take it to PCB number 2 in the second cabinet and connect it to the in. Then I would take one from the second PCB out to the 3rd and so on to the 4th. And there's only one difference that you would take for that you would need for the very first terminal for PCB 1. You need to make a loop back, and I will show you that in just one second. Okay, what you're looking at here is the PCB I have in the first cabinet. So this would be considered terminal 1 when they're booting up. And as you can see, this is the out port. This cable here, it's an S-video cable that's running to the second cabinet, and that connects to the in port of the second one. Well, I was telling you before that there was one difference with terminal 1 is you have to have a loop back connected into terminal 1. Basically what you do is you split open a cable and you take the 3rd and 4th wires and solder them together. And it's basically the 2 top pins. I don't know if you can see it or not. The 2 top pins in the S-video, you basically solder the wires together so that they're connected. And that's all you need to do. You just plug that into the in port on PCB 1. Now, like I said before, you'd take this cable from PCB 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, 3 to 4. And on 4, you just leave the out terminal empty. You'll plug in the cable from PCB 3 to the in, but leave the number 4 empty. And it'll boot like that. Alright, so I'm going to set it up, everything up, get it all ready, and I'm going to come back and show you it booting up. Okay, so basically when you first boot all your PCBs, you're going to get the normal region screen. It tells you, we'll say Super Street Fighter 2 Tournament, it'll tell you the revision code, and then it'll go to the warning screen, and then as soon as the warning screen's up, terminal check will pop up. And what it's doing now is it's trying to connect to the other 3 motherboards to try to make sure you got 4 connected, and then it'll boot. That's the way I have it set up. Is I have my Killer Instinct cabinet here. That's terminal 1. Killer Instinct 2 is terminal 2. My WrestleMania is acting as terminal 3. And if I walk back through my hallway here, you look at my super guns down here. Excuse the mess. My super guns down there, and this is terminal 4. All right. The reason why it's saying terminal check and it's not booted is because I have terminal 1 turned off, as you saw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to boot up Killer Instinct cabinet. And what you're going to see is you're going to see it go through the warning screen. And then you're going to see a terminal check, and then it's going to grab the ID of the board. As you can see, this is a world version of it. Good from all of North America and Canada and Mexico and all that. Alright, now what you're going to do is it's going to check, and then it's going to grab the ID. It says ID01. ID1 OK is what it says. Terminal 2 would say ID2 OK. That would say ID3 and ID4 on the other one, then it'll boot up and start playing. Now, I cut off the demo sound for, well, by default demo sound is cut off on it. I only turned the demo sound onto the one machine so we're not like inundated with sound so you can hear me talking. For some reason these are really, really loud, and they seem to reset back to the loud level when you turn them off. But it's that. But what I have, well, before I show you what I have, or tell you what I have, the cool thing about it is if you go on the first terminal or any terminal and you hit the manager screen button to get to the menu, it automatically pulls that up on all the other terminals. And so you can go into all the other terminals and set up individual options for each machine. And I'll kind of come over to this one so it's easier to kind of read the screen. Yeah, it's a little easier. It's not as, the contrast isn't as bad. But basically you can go into system configuration here, and you can see all the options. You got game mode, which is tournament. If you weren't linking them, if you only had one, you could turn it to single, and then it would just act like a regular Super Street Fighter 2 PCB. But I'm gonna keep it on tournament. I put it on free play. Obviously, it's not. I can't change it on this one. I got to change on terminal 1. I can change it to free play, but I got it on free play. I can't change the difficulty on this one either. That's all controlled by terminal 1. But I can control if whether this machine here is stereo. I can control whether I have demo sound on or off. And just a few things. All the other stuff you have to adjust from terminal 1. So I'll just exit out of here. And basically, all I have to do on one terminal is go to exit, and it'll reset. All the terminals will reset, as you see, and it's back to normal. So that's how that works. Now, like I was saying before, there were some questions, certain questions that were asked on the forum that we weren't sure. And one of those questions was, did it matter that all 4 boards have to be the same region? Well, the answer is no. I've got 2 that are world region. I've got 2 that are Japanese region. I've also got 3 that are the same. I have 3 that are the same revision. 3 of them are revision 930911, so basically September 11, 93. And then one of them is revision 931119, so November 19th, 93. Apparently it doesn't matter. They all, doesn't matter what region, it doesn't matter what revision, they all boot up. So that answered that question. Also, when you look at the instructions that are online, the Japanese instructions say not to use a cable that's longer than 3 meters. But what I've had to do here is I've had to use 15-foot cables between Terminal 1 and Terminal 2, Terminal 2 and Terminal 3. And then I ran a 50-foot S-video cable from Terminal 3 all the way to my back room where my super gun is. And everything works fine. It's no problem at all. So it's not a big deal how long the cable is either. And basically I wanted to set this up because there's not a lot of information about tournament battle. As you can see, the English one's in English, the Japanese ones are in Japanese. And the other thing that's kind of cool is, as you see on that screen, that match was already finished. So while all the other matches on the other 3 machines are finishing, you can actually keep fighting each other even though it doesn't count. The match has already been done. The tournaments are also 1 match each. There's no best 2 out of 3 on this. It's 1 match, and then you move on to the next. And as you can see there, it tells each player what seat to move to next. And even though you've lost the last match, you get to fight again against someone else. So the machines are never empty. It's an 8-man tournament, you get to keep playing until the winner is determined. So I'm going to go and play a couple games, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when there's a champion. Alright, I just played through a match. You see I played as Bison and I won. And you can hear that's really loud. But it says on all 4 terminals, it shows who the winner is. You saw it also told me I had a free game. So I get to keep playing until I lose. Also see in the Japanese version it says Vega instead of Bison. 2 consecutive victories. Here, the music's a little bit different this time because I won 3 tournaments in a row to become the grand champion then after 3 tournament wins.
Sit, Kishi. Sit. Good dog.